Okay, I'm recording now. So a focus or vision for our team, something that we are all kind of have a common goal and plan so that we are like kind of going in the same direction. I think it will kind of help all of us bring our team together a little and get a little bit more focused on what we want ourselves and in our lives and in our business and blah, blah, blah. So I took some time last week when I posted this to the group and did like my own personal mission statement and things that are important to me and in my life. And I thought that it would be good to do it as a team as well. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at that list. Did you guys like click on the link and go to the list of like prompt questions at all? Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine. So I have them all written down and I wrote some answers, but I kind of just want to have like a little brainstorming session and see what other thoughts you guys have. And then we can kind of prioritize a few things and then I'll work on kind of writing it together and we can share it and work on it from there. So, and Amy, I said to Shannon, Mike has a meeting, so I have to like be kind of in and out. I'm going to try to be quick is my point, which is never very easy for me. But, okay, so just the first questions. I'm going to read there's like 6 questions. I'll read them all to you if you want to like make little notes, and then I'll let you know. I'll go back and kind of tell you what my thoughts were. Okay, so what are we known for as our team? How do we treat each other? What kind of workplace, which, I mean, that's kind of a loose term when we're all everywhere, but what kind of workplace do we want to have? What unique talents and skills do each of us have? What do we want to achieve as a team? And what unique contributions can we make as a team? And I will take notes as we talk. So I'll tell you guys what my thoughts were, and I want to hear what your thoughts are, because I think that if it's just me saying what the vision is for our team, then like it doesn't necessarily make everyone else feel invested and like it's their idea, right? And so I wanted to have input from you guys so that we can do it together. So if you're watching a recording, please either comment when I post this or do a post on our team page or send me a message with your individual thoughts about things that you want to add to this list. So what are we known for? I said, just kind of based on like how I came up with Team WIP as our name, that we were known for patience, having patience in the process, patience with each other, with our challengers, and striving for progress, but being patient in the process of getting there. Being accommodating and flexible so that each person gets what they need. So I think that applies to working with our coaches individually, because everyone's starting in a different place. Everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, like we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think also with our challengers, and this is kind of how some coaches totally do not agree with this, but kind of how I've run my business from the beginning is I'm not gonna turn people away if they don't want Shakeology right away, right? Or I'm not going to make someone have to buy a program if all they want is accountability. Kind of working with people where they are and making what they need the focus rather than me trying to get what I want out of the situation. And then working on ourselves daily, still in the what are we known for. So I think more and more I'm kind of getting this belief, or I'm just like getting on board with the fact that personal development is really, really important. And the more plugged in I am to that, the better I'm doing in like every area of my life. And so I kind of feel like that should be a theme. I know it is for me, but kind of with our team, that we are known for being really kind of keyed into that. So that's all I have on what are we known for. Do you guys want me to go through all of mine, or do you want to kind of stop and chat? What makes more sense?
I'm fine with going through. I haven't, I'm super new, so I'm not totally plugged in.
Amy? And if you want to just interrupt me and have thoughts, then do that.
I think probably maybe stop at each one, just
Okay.
so I
Yes,
think.
we're kind of on track there. I like it. Okay, so do you have, either of you have thoughts on other things or things you like or don't like? If you're like, I don't want to be known for doing personal development because I hate it, then that's fine. So just give me your thoughts on these.
No, I think that's good. Like I agree with like everything that you're saying.
Okay.
It works for me.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you think would be good to have on that list?
I think something, I know not everybody in our group is an athletic trainer or has that background, but I think there's something to be said about that we are kind of like in that health care field professional or something like that. I know that not everybody is like that, but I think that's part of what makes us unique or different from the other thousands of teams that are out there.
Yeah, I like
Good
that.
point.
And I actually sorry, did I just interrupt you? I'm not looking, so
No.
I just said good point. That's all.
Oh, yeah, I have had that thought a lot in the last couple weeks too. So I'm glad you brought that up because it didn't cross my mind when I was making this list. But I have been thinking about that recently. Like most people, I'm like looking at my list of coaches here. Everyone except for 2 people so far of my coaches are either athletic trainers or like pretty committed athletes, like athletes I worked with or people that like have been doing sports for a long time. So I think that's a great point. I like it.
Well, and I think that like relates to like a team approach. Like we're used to working in a team. That's just like our background is that we don't ever work like by ourselves.
I love it. Okay. Anything else there?
I don't think so.
Jan? No? Okay.
No, I like it.
Okay. The next bullet is how do we treat each other? So I think kind of going above and beyond like normal, we're adults that are nice, right? Because hopefully that's kind of goes without saying is we're not just jerks to each other all the time. But I think, I just wrote down a few words here. I think support, we're supportive of each other. And I think kind of along with that, another thing I wrote down was sounding board. But I think kind of like we know that we have these strengths that we're going to talk to. We know that there's people in the group with different experiences, and we feel comfortable asking and sharing our different struggles and successes with each other so that we can make each other better by doing that. Encouraging, which I think kind of goes back to the what are we known for, like patience thing. If we're kind of encouraging each other through the struggles to get where we're going, I think those kind of go along with each other. And I had another one in my head just a second ago, and I should have written it down because I forget it, and that's all that's in my paper right now. Anything there that you want to add? How do we treat each other?
I think like the respectful part is that we're all in different places, but there's like zero pressure to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like there's zero pressure to like hit a certain rank, recruit so many people, have so many people in your challenge packs, sales. Because I think that that's a major deterrent for some people is that we just kind of respect where everybody is or where they choose to be or where they want to be.
Yeah. Which I think kind of goes back, same thing. I think these are good. They're lining up. So when I was saying, what are we known for? Kind of accommodating or being flexible with where people are. I think that kind of goes along with that, right? So we're respecting wherever you are in your journey and not making you do stuff you're not ready to do. Cool. Shan, anything there?
That sounds good other than, the obvious.
Okay. Be nice. Don't say mean comments on the wall. Don't make fun of each other, except a little, because that's kind of what we all do, I think, right?
Captain Good Jeff, of course.
Okay, so what kind of workplace do we want to have? Again, I think this one's kind of like workplace, right? But I think there is definitely, once this team gets bigger and we have more people on calls and more people going to like summit and team retreats, we have a workplace, right? We have to actually be together and interact with each other. And I think it's different than just being on calls. So I have here friendly, but also I have fun and focused. So I think that we can get a lot done and we can learn a lot from each other, but I want it to be fun and not something for like, oh, I have a team call, but be like, oh, I get to go hang out with my team for 30 minutes today. That's really fun. And Vanessa's ridiculous all the time, so probably I'll be laughing at least a little bit. So fun is on there. I think that's important to me. That we are diligent and consistent in how we're working. And again, kind of going back to that, where respecting where everyone is on their own, not consistent in the fact that everyone has to be inviting 30 people a day, but consistent in the fact that you're following the plans that you laid out for yourself or that you came to with other people's help. That you're kind of sticking to your goals and your focus and readjusting those as you need to, but that you're consistent in the goals you've set for yourself. Anything to add? Sorry, I feel like we're really like cruising super fast through these. Nothing there? Anything you hate? Anything you really like so far?
Fun.
Sorry. I like it. It's perfect. Okay. So next one is, what unique talents and skills do each of us have? So hopefully this doesn't embarrass people, but I kind of just picked out, and if you're listening to this recording and I don't list you, don't be offended. I was doing this in the middle of my workday today, so I was just kind of shooting from the hip here. Okay, so Amy is super organized and detail-oriented and probably knows the ins and outs of how Beachbody works better than anyone I've ever met.
Really? Awesome.
She reads everything and like follows up and asks questions and makes sure she understands. So like, I think that's a huge skill, right? I mean, Amy answers questions for me all the time. So like I think knowing these skills is so huge. And that occurred to me as I was writing this list. Like, if everyone on our team knows that like Amy is the one to ask if you don't understand how something works, how helpful is that, right? And that's kind of how it's been in like on Team Inspire. I don't know if you guys have noticed. A lot of times people will post things and they'll ask Carrie Bullock, like, they'll say like, blah, 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 blah. How do these points work, Carrie Bullock? And she's the same way. Like, she knows like every single rule that's ever happened.
Was she the one with the mega list of personal development reading?
Yes, that was her.
That was amazing.
She is like list maker, spreadsheet maker, organized, knows every detail. So it's super helpful to have that person. Tiffany all the time will be like, I have no idea how that works. Ask Carrie, because I'm sure Carrie knows. So Amy, sorry, that was kind of a tangent. Amy, Shanna, I have super compassionate, really good at talking to people and having relationships and letting people know that he cares about them, which I think is huge. I don't think I'm very good at that because I kind of just move right along. I have on mine motivation. I think that I do a really good job of kind of staying on top of things and staying focused, and communicating with people. To a certain extent, there's some areas of that I'm better at than others. Tiffany, I have, and I just got to talk to Tiffany on the phone for the first time, just a one-on-one, like a week ago, maybe a few days ago. And it was so great. And I'm like, oh, I need to be like making some of my coaches have one-on-ones, because talking, I think, is way more important. So I am excited for Tiffany, hopefully, to get in some of these calls, because you guys will love her. She's fabulous. But I have for Tiffany that she has a passion for change and helping people. And she really like wants to help the whole community have a change in their life. She is Navajo, and she lives on a reservation in I think Arizona, but she just moved to New Mexico. And she really is like passionate, like she wants to help everyone on the reservation that has a problem with obesity figure out how to not be obese. And I think that's really pretty powerful to have a passion like that. Emily, who hasn't really joined in here much, but she's great. Emily is really good at taking time, I think, before she even started doing groups, I think, to do personal development and to learn about herself and finding resources to help other people kind of work on themselves and love themselves. And it's something that she struggles with, but I think it kind of helps her help other people because she's done a really good job of looking into those things. Becky has a really strong story, and even though she's kind of gone back and forth and struggled, she's really good at, and in the graduate group, maybe you're noticing this more. I think she's more comfortable there. Becky, hopefully you listen to this, but I think she's more comfortable there sometimes than on her own page, but I think that she has such a strong story and an ability to kind of share from her heart and help people kind of recognize that it's possible for them to make those changes. So those are just kind of FYI, and I feel like I should have done this and like shared your strengths with our team like 6 months ago, because I think it's helpful to know other people's strengths. So do you guys have any other comments, or you agree or disagree with any of those? I know all of you guys don't know each other super well, but or you think Vanessa actually sucked at communication? That should not be on your strength list. Sorry, go ahead, Amy.
I'm also pretty creative, please.
Sorry, this is not your only skills. I did not mean these are your only skills. Just like the first one that popped into my head while I was making this list today. I'm writing creative on my list. And honestly,
I'm a bomb singer, man.
Oh yes, that is a very strong skill for our team.
Isn't it? It's totally going to help with everything.
That's right. If ever we're having a stressful day, I'm just going to say, let's have a team call and Shanna can sing to all of us.
Sorry, again.
No, Amy, I'm glad you brought that creative thing up actually, because I was thinking about it, but I think I couldn't figure out how to like find the word, and creative is just obvious. I don't know why that didn't pop into my head, but just like how you're really good at coming up with like all your different groups and like getting people re-engaged with things. I think you're way better at that than I am. Okay. Anything else there before I go to the next? Okay. So the next one is, what do we want to achieve? So these are kind of like goals for our team. Things that I have: help people make changes to their lives, to their mindset, to their physical bodies, to their financial selves, just to kind of help people make changes, the changes that they need and want. Having consistency, helping people, our customers and our teammates, be consistent and work to be changing ourselves while we're helping other people. Financial independence, I know I kind of already added that in my list of changes, and helping other people also achieve that same financial independence. And we want to achieve a strong team culture, which I think kind of all of this rolls into, but where we get to the point where these goals and these beliefs are kind of just inherent in our group, and we don't necessarily have to like spell them all out because it's obvious what we're working towards. That's what I have. Anything else on what we want to achieve? Or if you don't like anything I have or want to add to it.
Wait, this was to help people achieve?
What do we want to
achieve?
What do we want to achieve? Nothing? Okay. And then the last one, what unique contributions can we make? And I actually didn't have didn't have anything. Sorry, did you not know he was behind you?
No, I didn't. I was like, who?
What unique contributions can we make? So I didn't have anything on here when we started this call, but I really like kind of like our healthcare-ish background, and I think this too, like that can kind of help us in like targeting, right? If we know that's who we want to build our team with, that's who we kind of reach out to. And working in a team, like you said before, Amy. So those are both your inputs. I don't have any of my own initial ones there. So yeah, any other thoughts? What unique contributions can we make?
No, I like what you just said, though.
That you said it?
Yeah, you repeated it.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, those are it. Those are the questions. Anything that, and I can kind of read through everything quickly if you want me to. We probably have like 10 minutes or so before it needs me to check back in with my family. But what do you guys feel like that we've talked about are like the few things that are like the most important to our team, really from any of those lists, if you kept notes or if you want me to read through them again?
What do we think is the most important?
Yeah, just so we can kind of like prioritize when
I think like building our team, just like the ones that we do have, is like supporting each other, and like I think that that's important, is just like our overall like team communication and supporting each other wherever that might be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm super brand new to this, obviously, but I think it helps because like in the first month I was ready to go, and then a couple personal things happened, and it's nice to remember that it's not just like me doing it, because you can get like, especially with stay-at-home mom, like just me and Eden all day, I'm like, oh, it's just me in the world, like so it's nice to know and to be reminded like there's a whole team and they're behind you and everyone together. So I agree with that, Amy.
Yeah,
bringing that out.
A couple other things, and tell me if you agree or not, that I think are important, are like the like patience in the process, or whatever that applies to, whether it's our clients or our teammates, but being patient in the process and being flexible, / no pressure, like you said about working where you are, accepting people where they are. I think that's kind of a big deal. And then what was the other thing? I thought I just had one. Oh, and I think like the team, working in teams is just like what we do, part of us. Which kind of seems silly, right? Because we're talking about our team, and like, of course we work in a team, but I think that we all kind of have experience and know how to work in a team, and I think that we need to remember that, and like Shanna was saying, remind each other that you're not the only one out there, that you have all of these other people's support and skills to draw on. Okay. Any other, what are you making, Shan?
Green beans with garlic and toasted almonds.
I made those the other night, except I put tomatoes in mine because I needed to use them up because they were going bad. Okay, so I'm going to work on this a little bit more, and I will send it around for you guys to give me input. if you think of other things you want to add or that you decide are important that didn't really occur to you, you can like post in the team page or just send me a message and I can kind of work on how to add those in. Or if you're not on this call and you're watching the recording. Okay, anything unrelated to mission statement, team building things that you guys want to ask or talk about or bounce ideas off each other?
How's your other group going?
Which one?
The one with Tyler.
Oh, well, we just had our first call tonight and I left halfway through to come jump on with you guys. But it's good. It's actually so far, like, it's kind of this kind of thing, like finding out what your goals, like really getting kind of serious and focused about what your goals are, where you're going, what you stand for, which is nice because that's kind of what I've been focusing on a lot in my personal development and things lately too. So far,
That's pretty good.
figure out where you're going so you can lead other people with you, basically. Yeah, but it's good. It's not much has happened in there so far, and so if you're feeling like you want to join in, I can still add you. No pressure. But if you want to, let me know.
I have a quick question. I don't know if I can get an answer or not, but I am horrible at reaching out to reconnect with people, or I'm my mind does not work when I'm going to connect. It sounds so silly, but I'm so yeah, hope you're good. Do you have any tips of if you think back to when you first got started of
So a really good kind of method for having conversations with people, right, is called Form. Yeah, have you used that? Have we talked about it?
I haven't used it because I don't know, I guess do you just go out and start with that, or do you just say hi, how are you? I know it sounds ridiculous, but
Yeah, no. And I think it's kind of awkward, right? To say, sometimes I start them and I'm like, I have no questions to ask this person. I just feel like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it kind of depends. Sometimes I will be like, oh, I haven't talked to this person forever, I'm going to reconnect. And sometimes I stretch it a little bit and I'm like, oh, I was just thinking about you today because remember that one time we ate green beans together while I was making green beans last night? Sometimes I'll just do whatever pops into my head while I'm starting. So I'll have a little lead in, right?
Yeah.
And then you can say or Facebook stalk them a little bit and say oh, I saw this adorable baby picture on your page. Is that your daughter? Things like that. So you can have a little fake maybe-ish lead in to why you want to reconnect with them. But then from that point, be kind of
go on.
Right?
So you reconnect at a different time than when you actually maybe invite sometimes.
Sometimes people, depending on, you, Shanna, I'm pretty sure I probably just invited you, right? I don't think I, led into a whole bunch of stuff because I'm comfortable enough with you, even if it had been a couple of months or however long since we talked.
Right.
I'm comfortable enough with you that I wasn't Shanna's going to think this is the only reason I'm talking to her, even though it's been 10 years. So I think it kind of just depends person to person. Some people, if it's been 10 years and you don't know them, you need to get to know them and then wait till they tell you what they need. And sometimes you have to wait for them to tell you what you need more than one time, right? So Johnson has this really good lecture, I guess.
Who does? Sorry, I'm muting a little bit.
Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson.
It's a woman. She is talking in this one thing that I have, and she says use duct tape, right? So form is what you're following, and duct tape. So you ask questions and then you shut up. You're not you're not looking for the chance to ask them or to invite them, right? You're just letting the conversation happen naturally. They may, the very first thing that they say to you is like, oh, I hate my job. I wish I didn't have to do it. You don't immediately go to like, oh, let me tell you about this great opportunity I have for you, right?
Right.
Most of the time. Sometimes you might if you know them and you're comfortable with them, but sometimes you need to let that relationship build and just keep that in your mind. Like, this person told me they hated their job, so 4 times from now after we've been talking and they keep saying it, then I'll invite them. So it's slower for sure. But I think that taking that time to build the relationship goes a long way in letting them trust you rather than just kind of turning them off by asking.
Yeah. Because I guess that's kind of how I felt. I'm like, I think I need to do a lot of reconnecting because I'm such an introvert, like, again, in my own little world kind of person.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that some of my goals might be further off, but
yeah, and that's fine.
Right? That was my kind of question.
We respect where you are and
Thank you.
the progress that you're making. For real though. I think, yeah, sometimes it's slow and it's a little frustrating because it's slower, but I think it's stronger to build that.
Okay.
Good question.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say for that is when you do your posts on social media, sometimes if you end it with a question, you'll get some engagement and then it's easier to reach out to somebody or to have a conversation based on whatever you're posting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like that. That's good. I'm not great about like starting a side conversation rather than just commenting back on the post. That's a really good idea. Like all my people that told me they're spending $300 a week on groceries last week, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cool. I did want to ask you guys this, and you don't have to necessarily answer now, but I wonder if you guys have any interest in running, like, because I'm starting to try to do monthly free groups. If you guys have any interest in doing those, running those together. I'm only planning on doing them probably like 2 weeks because I didn't do a prep week when I just did one the other week, and I didn't like it because I like having that time to kind of get people ready before you're just going. So my plan is to do 2 weeks long free groups, probably near the end of each month, so that they're kind of in between, like a little before my next real challenge group. So I just thought I would kind of see, and no pressure if you guys aren't into it, but if anyone's interested in running those together. So we have a little bit bigger group, which may get a little bit more interaction. I don't know. And
I would probably be interested.
Okay. And Amy, I know you often have free groups that are running anyway, so if you like just doing your own thing, that's totally fine too.
I'd like to get an idea of
what are your free groups like?
What are mine like?
Yeah, like what are you doing in them?
Yeah, and I haven't done them much. Like, you have much more experience with free groups than I do. But I usually have just had people do like a Beachbody On Demand membership. And then I'll do like meal plans and just talk about like nutrition mostly. Sometimes I've done it where I've tried to have people like following, like doing specific workouts. Like I'll pick a handful and assign them. But I feel like that's not totally my style. Like I like to let people do what they want to do rather than make everyone do the same thing. So I don't know. That's kind of it. And I don't have like a great like daily curriculum plan at this point yet. So I'm kind of working on that a little bit. So
What's already there?
Just a thought.
I'm almost done here.
Anything else?
I would be interested in doing a crockpot group again. That one went pretty well.
Okay, and I have never done that. Yeah, that might be fun to do kind of together. Crockpot.
We got, like, when I was working with Alexis, she's not really doing much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We had like 50 people in it.
Wow. Okay. That's nice.
I mean, it was a little bit of work. Like, it was a little bit of prep work, like finding recipes, putting it all together. And then she put like all the recipes together, and then I did like daily workouts. So they were just like mini circuits that I just came up with that required like no equipment.
Right. And that's like, you got to put in a lot of work the first time, right? And then you just can kind of use everything again, and it's not that bad. But yeah, that might be fun to do a crock pot group, except like, I don't even have a crock pot. And I've cooked
You're not a real
I have a
person.
rice cooker that you can use as a slow cooker, and I've done it like twice.
You're not a real person.
It's weird, huh? I know, it's weird.
Come on, Vanessa. I thought you were like Miss Baker and
I cook like when it's time to eat. I don't like cook it in the morning. Like, I can't get my act together to have dinner ready in the morning.
All you have to do is dump it in.
I have like 20 minutes before dinner. And honestly, too, I think it was a little bit after Ari was born, I made like a bunch of like freezer to crock pot meals. And Mike hated like all of them. And like, he'll eat them and be fine if that's like what my plan is. But if I did crock pot meals for like a whole week, Mike would be like, oh my gosh. Which is fine. He can deal with it. He can make dinner if he doesn't want to eat that. But that's a confession. But anyway, I'm not a huge crock potter, so I could maybe do it for a week.
She said crackpot.
Crackpot.
Crack pot.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all for now for me, I think. Unless you guys have something.
Amy, you good? Okay. Okay, I'm going to work on this. If you have more thoughts for mission statement, let me know. And this was great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your input.
Vanessa.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.